From the 1011 streaming studio, this is Star City Buzz.
Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler alongside Danielle Shenk in the 1011 Now streaming studio for another edition of Star City Buzz. Danielle, there's really nothing going on this weekend.
Yeah.
No big events happening, especially on Friday.
You know, all the big events happened last week. So, sorry, you're out of luck.
We're plumb out of big events, but no, again, obviously, the big thing as we head over the next day or two is obviously going to be the Huskers hosting Illinois for Friday night football. Again, this will be the outside of Black Friday. This will be the first Friday or non-weekday game that Memorial Stadium has hosted. You have to go back to Rice in 2001. It was after September 11th, so they moved the game. So it's been a long time since the Huskers have not played a weekend game at home. And then there's, obviously it's the 400 sellout, it's the conference opener, it's the top 25
matchup. A lot of hype
matchup
around this game. And with it being on a Friday, it's a little bit challenging because there's regular work day traffic that's happening, and so lots of agencies are saying, watch yourself. Traffic's going to be at an all-time worse.
Yes,
for this game.
It is going to be brutal. But again, Huskers kick off against Illinois at 7 o'clock. Again, the game's going to be on Fox. And again, we'll talk about it at the very end here, but the forecast does look good.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be down around Memorial Stadium, again, it's just going to be weird. Friday evening, again, people getting off work, plus people coming into town. But again, big game, 400 sellout. Again, you have to go back. I think it was 2009, Bo Pelini era, when they had the 300 sellout.
Yeah, I have it right here because I knew I wanted to talk about it. So 100 sellout was against Penn State. We were ranked 6th. Penn State was 18. Huskers won 42-17. The 200 sellout was against the Colorado Buffaloes. They were number 2. We were number 3. Huskers pulled out the win on that one, 24-7. And then for the 300 sellout, we were ranked 25. Raging Cajuns weren't ranked. That's Louisiana, and we blew them out 55-0. So there's quite a bit of hype around not only it being the 400th, obviously another big number, but to get that dub.
Yep, you got to get that win. And Matt Rule talked about, he's kind of been like, hey, I just got to focus on the football. The other stuff's great. But Matt Rule talked about it earlier this week in his press conferences. Let's listen to what he had to say.
The University of Nebraska is not a football factory. It's a place of development, and that's a proof of it, that you can sell out for 400 straight games, and you can lead the country in academic All-Americans. Now, they've changed some of the parameters and they're giving some away to other people, but we've been the leader in that for a long time. So it's just a perfect blend of everything, right? And it's what drew me here. It's what draws other people here. So I think getting to 400 will be great. My job, though, is to make sure that we win that game so that people leave happy about it, not anything else.
Yeah.
Got to win the game.
Yeah, and a little backstory to that. I mean, he did say that he understands the gravity of just how big this match is, of course, and was saying, one of the first things they do with recruits is bring them out there on the field, show them the consecutive sellouts, show them the All-Americans up there, and how we're kind of a leader in both of those categories.
And so again, you had him written down. Was it 2009? Was 300th?
It doesn't have the day on this one.
I want to say it was 2009. So 15 years. So 500 sellout, 2040, somewhere
around there.
And Danielle, you mentioned it, but again, NSP, NDOT have already put out a number of sort of bulletins and alerts.
Yeah.
The traffic's going to be pretty crazy. They have some best ways to get to the stadium and to get away from the stadium. So if you're coming to the stadium, basically they want you to take exit 397. If you're coming from the west, take exit 397, Highway 77 over to Rosa Parks Way, then take that downtown. If you're coming from the east, use exit 401 and then take I-180 into downtown Lincoln.
Yeah, and make sure you're staying off your phone, staying alert, because there is some construction, outside of the capital city, and NSP had also pointed out that Trooper Brett will be on the Huskers radio network, so that's either AM 1400 or FM is 98.1. He'll provide some updates on any accidents and things like that.
Which, I mean, we don't want to see it. We hope we don't see it, but undoubtedly
something usually happens. So make sure you're alert and aware, and hopefully can get here safely to enjoy another night game.
Yeah, and then again, if you're working downtown and then trying to get home, again, just try and be a little patient
Yeah.
Just
Patience is going to be key on Friday.
It will be. And so, again, this is the graphic for folks then going home. Again, basically, they want you to take basically the same route. I mean,
Yeah.
out Rosa Parks, out to 77, back onto the interstate westbound, I-180, take that north, and then take that eastbound. So, again, just again, like we said, patience, definitely going to be a virtue for drivers on Saturday. Or Friday. Excuse me, Friday.
Yeah,
It's Friday.
I know. It's hard to get it in your mind that, and with this Friday game, a lot of high schools here in Lincoln have moved their games to tonight to accommodate for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, 5. I think Thursday evening there are 5 high school football games. So the sports department, again, God bless
Gonna be
Kevin
busy.
Suits and Chase Madison, Kendall Lanier, everyone who's having to deal with this. So there are still plenty of events, again, that are happening kind of throughout the course of the weekend, Danielle. Again, it's kind of opened up the weekend, Saturday at least, for a lot of people with the game on Friday.
Yeah, and Huskers, we're talking about them again. Huskers are helping the homeless. That's happening at various locations, but it's tied to Matt Talbot, so kind of just check out for those signs. It's kind of a volunteer opportunity for them, I think. And then the Revolutionists at Nebraska Wesleyan is happening at several points throughout the weekend. Pick a night, and you will probably have a show. Roca Scary Farms, Roca Berry Farms opened for the season just last week. We talked about that. So now the spooky version of that is opening, starting at 5. And Paranormal Circuit 2? Circuit 2, how do you say that? At the Gateway Mall. Anyway, lots of cool stuff there. There's going to be, flipping, acrobatics, great stuff. But no one under the age of 13 will be admitted to the show unless they have an adult with them.
There you
13
go.
through 17
There you
has to
go.
have an adult.
Jamie really wants to go to Roca's Scary Farm, and I was like, no.
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 It can get pretty spooky. Like the
It can get
hayrack
pretty-
ride
like,
can get,
I don't need my 7-year-old to be
having nightmares
having
already.
nightmares. No, thank you. So again, it maybe some tough competition on Friday, but we do still have some Friday things that are going on. I think a lot of events have tried to steer away from maybe Friday night. So again, starting early on Friday, again, this is an event that I believe Danielle reminded me. This is every week through like
until December.
Fridays at Prairie Pines Nature Reserve. So again, just go touch some grass.
Yeah, and I think they do Saturdays as well, but Fridays is kind of a big opportunity for them, with Saturdays being usually booked with Husker games and other things going on. So
And if you're looking for a tailgating opportunity, over at Kincaider Brewing, they're having Lemon Fresh Day, but it's again basically a Husker tailgate that starts at noon and goes all the way through 11 o'clock.
yeah, I think it's because they open at noon over there, but I think they said the party was kind of going to get started around 3:30 or
Okay.
so. And then another shout out to Embassy Suites. They're doing Do the Dock. There you have pre and post game parties, and there's actually Sunny from Sales who works here at 1011, and her band is performing. So shout out to her.
There you go.
She'll be at the Embassy Suites.
Over at the Lincoln Children's Zoo, Lincoln Unites, and again, this I feel like is geared with the football game starting at 7, runs from 4 through 7. They're going to have music, entertainment, and then international food and fun at the zoo.
And a big thing, free to the public. So, little family fun event there.
There you go. And if football is not your vibe,
Yeah.
if you wanted to get away from some of it, you could head over to James Arthur Vineyards. They have a night of comedy. That sounds like it's $25 per person, but that includes a glass of wine.
Gotta get the party started somehow. And I think that's featuring Nathan Holtz is who's going to be leading the comedy show there.
So there you go. So just if you don't want football, you go have a couple glasses of wine, listen to some funny people, and there you go.
If you're looking for another show, House Divided is underway over at the Lead Center.
Ooh,
That's
there
a
you go.
big show for them. So we'll have those details on our website as well. But
And so usually, Danielle, we just have like 2 pages kind of events for Saturdays. But
yeah.
again, with the football game being on Friday and Saturday being open, we have 3 pages. So lots to talk
Obviously,
about.
we lied that there's nothing going on. No,
Yeah.
there's always stuff going on. The Haymarket Farmers Market, that's happening once again. You probably have about a month left. It's going to stop in October, so get out there while you can. Then UNL Cross Country is having a home meet at Mahoney Golf Course. It's the Greeno Dirksen Invitational. Our women's team's doing pretty good. They've claimed a couple of titles and have some runners to watch out for. Over at the Sandhills Global Event Center, Falling Leaves Vendor Fair is happening from 10 to 3. And then Oktoberfest over at White Elm Brewing is from 12 to 10 p.m.
And you're going to have that's free entry, and they're going to have live music, a Stein hoist competition, which, like, come on. And then obviously a bunch of fun activities over there at White Elm Brewing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and Sandhills Global with that Falling Leaves Vendor Fair, there's going to be over 120 vendors there. It can get a little hot in the Sandhills Global Event Center. I was there for the Totally Rad Vintage Fest, and it got it was a little hot in the event center.
Yeah,
but,
well, there's a lot of people in there.
Yeah,
a lot of people in there. Also happening on Saturday, again, as you head into the afternoon hours, Ribfest over at Faith Lutheran. Again, this sounds delicious. Ticket prices may vary, so again, you kind of gotta. Yeah. You got to check on that if you wanted to enter. I mean, it's probably, I don't know how late you can enter, but it's $100 for a 2-person team to enter. 48th and O Car Show. This is going to be sponsored by Auto Sounds of Lincoln, as well as Chick-fil-A. That runs from 4 to 7. So again, another car show. We had the Corvette show last weekend. Car show this weekend.
So break out the Corvettes again.
Yeah, there you go. This one interests me, and that's Cosmic Skating at the Icebox from 6 to 8. I feel like it's going to combine glow bowling and ice skating.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to be throwing around 10-pound bowling balls.
Yeah.
But just the colors
is
what I have in my brain.
A cool vibe. I've actually never been ice skating before, but you know what? With my ankles and my luck, I would, and how easily I bruise, I might as well be a peach out there, like, not good. But
Jamie wants me to take him ice skating, so I might have to do that Saturday evening over at the Icebox. And then another event that sounds like it's fun, Cosmos and Cocktails. This is going to be at the Nebraska State Museum as well as Morrill Hall. And this sounds like it's a live narrated planetarium show, but there's also, drinks. You can explore the museum. They have appetizer buffet.
Yeah.
So this sounds like it'd be a pretty fun event.
Yeah, $35 for UNL affiliates, and then if you're not, it's $45.
I still have my N card.
So you can maybe get in.
I don't think I don't know if N cards technically expire.
Going back to Ribfest, though, they're partnering with the Food Bank of Lincoln, so they're also going to have a food drive there as well. And they're expecting about 18 competitors or so, but like at least 500 people is what they're expecting will come out to Ribfest. So
there we go.
Be a good time.
All right. Also on Saturday, other events that are happening. This is over at. Take us through what's happening over at Maple Lodge.
So the Last Hurrah, Lincoln Loves Locals, that's from 6:30 to 8:30 over at the Bourbon Theater. Mark E. Bassey and Skizzy Mars. I've actually heard of them. We've kind of talked that there's quite a few like lesser known acts that come to the Bourbon Theater, but I've actually heard of these two. Doors open at 7, shows at 8. Then over at the Pioneers Park Nature Center, Twilight Treks is happening. Yeah, about $5, and they have a couple of different focuses, whether they're going on hikes with nocturnal wildlife, focusing on astronomy, legends or storytelling, history. So they have a couple of different treks that you can go on for that. And then at Duffy's, there's going to be another concert, Kobe Williams and the Fantasy, along with the Groove Lagoon and Pearl Parade from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah, if you want to go hang out at Duffy's, should be a good show.
Have some fish bowls.
It's too far past my bedtime, though.
Not enough for a fishbowl? Don't want to go out and have a giant fishbowl over at Duffy's?
I can't tell you the last time I had a fishbowl, but it's bringing back memories. So with that, Danielle, we're going to be back in just 1 minute with more Sunday events and a look at your forecast. Welcome back again. Bill Rentschler and Danielle Shenk in the 1011 Now streaming studio for another edition of Star City Buzz. Just kind of letting you know what's going on in and around Lincoln for the upcoming weekend. Danielle, it's a jam-packed weekend. Again, Husker games on Friday,
Yeah.
so Saturday's open, but still plenty of events happening on Sunday as well.
Yes, and so Saturday, jam-packed. We had 3 different graphics for it. Now we're moving on to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Hell on the Hill at Pioneers Park Sledding Hill.
I really wish we had video of this to show people.
This is about mental and physical endurance and pushing yourself. So talk about Hell on the Hill.
50-lap challenge on the sledding hill at Pioneers Park.
Yeah, it'd be
So if
quite
you
a
want to put
time.
yourself through that.
I'd rather not. 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Fall Festival at Cooper & Co. Home Plus Gift is happening. Also at the same time, Pet Palooza 2024 at Make It Take It, Lincoln's Craft Studio. Then from 2 to 5 is Sundays on the Deck music series, Spock's Foster Sister at James Arthur Vineyards.
Also happening is Pooches on the Patio. This is being hosted by Momo's Pizza. This is from noon to 4 on Sunday. And this is a story that our Chanel Taylor McCarthy covered earlier this week. This is just going to be, again, live music, food, games, hanging out, charity event. So, again, everything goes to a good cause.
Yeah, and I mean, look at some of these cute pets. Come on,
No,
who
you
doesn't want to
can't.
hang out with some of these
And
pooches?
Momo's is...
Yeah.
Momo's
Great.
is delicious.
Yeah,
So,
so
have
a good
glass
time
of
all
wine,
around.
Have some food. Also, again, I'm just going to say this is what happens when you send us your events. This is from my mother.
So sort of counts, but you
It
know,
counts. It counts.
She has the hookup here.
She does, and she takes advantage of it, and I'll absolutely give it to her. But St. Michael's Catholic Church over in South Lincoln is having their fall festival this weekend. This is going to be on Sunday from noon to 3, and they're going to have pulled pork, hot dogs, beans, chips, drinks, but also going to have live music. They're going to have a ton of stuff, desserts and ice cream. They're going to have mum sales. My mom also loves mums, and so again, she delivers mums to all the kids. So we have some of these mums out on our front patio, and they're absolutely blooming and beautiful. They also have a bake sale. There's going to be a bounce house, cakewalk, train rides, balloon, face painting, tons of great stuff again for the kids. So that should be a really good time. That's over at St. Michael's again, and that's over on the south side of town from noon to 3 on Sunday. They did have a meeting today. Again, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's obviously supposed to rain on Sunday, so that could impact a lot of our events. But they did just have a meeting. They were talking about maybe postponing it, but it is on as of right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned that ice cream at this fall festival is that.
That is homemade ice cream by my mother. She
There you
spent the
go.
last week making ice cream and putting it into little, basically like I think like a coffee cup. And so my parents' freezer, there's
Is
probably
full of
like
ice cream.
80. And so the kids, when they go over there, they're like, "Hey," they got their eyes on the freezer. They're like,
I
"Can
know
have-
there's ice cream in
Can I
there.
have some of that ice cream?" Because it is absolutely delicious. Again, it's homemade. So again, St. Michael's Fall Festival, noon to 3 on Sunday. If you can get there, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, and then at 3 p.m., Flowers and Books at Elianad Books, which is actually my name backwards. Danielle backwards.
Oh my gosh, now I'm seeing that.
The owner, I think, is named Danielle, and so she
Yeah,
flip-flopped
I
it
like
there.
that.
So I should have been able to say Elianad a little bit better than that, but
That's
here
okay.
we are. 4 to 7 p.m., Harvest Moon Festival over at the Asian Center, and then happening at the same time is the Summer Sunday live music series at Kincaidor featuring Taylor Moats. And then over at the Bourbon, once again, is the Black Veil Brides and the Tale Untold. Doors open at 6:30 and show is at 7.
One of the things I think will be neat this weekend is over at, this is going to be at Duncan Aviation Hangar B, but they're having Girls in Aviation Day from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and so girls ages 8 through 17 can be accompanied by adults. They're invited to come. You know, there's going to be some food trucks, gift bags, hands-on activities and stuff, but then you can tour a plane, kind of, you know, see what it's all about.
And so, again, Chanel Taylor McCarthy also previewed this event. So, again, we have all the links to all the events that we've kind of talked about in our article on 1011now.com. But if you do some additional kind of searching through 1011now.com, you'd find something from Chanel on this event when she was there. So, again, tons of things happening this weekend.
And we can't forget about Husker volleyball playing against Louisville. Huskers ranked 5. They just swept number 2 Stanford last night. So I was all over that.
You were.
But, the game against Louisville is in Louisville, so that's why we didn't have it as one of our main events. But we have to talk about it because, man, after last night's match, they were great. The AVCA had just released their watch list for National Player of the Year, 4 Huskers on it. That's the most of any team. Merritt Beeson, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley, and Lexi Rodriguez.
And I was talking with Kevin earlier this afternoon on our End Report Husker show, and I had, I feel like, all those players are playing well.
Yes.
But I feel like Andy Jackson might be playing the best of anyone on the team right now, and she's not even on that list.
Yeah, and I mean, to be hitting over 500 consistently as a middle is just crazy, and getting as many sets as she does, she's doing a phenomenal job, and they need to quit snubbing her. They need to give her flowers. She's doing an amazing job. But that match against Louisville is on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. So you got to wake up a little bit early, or rush home from church and.
And it will be nationally televised. It's going to be on ABC. And Danny Busboom Kelly, the Louisville coach, actually texted John Cook earlier this week, said they're opening the Upper Bowl at the KFC Yum Center. So again, last night, Bob Devaney, they had about 9,000 people there for that match. They're expecting over 10,000 people at least for this match against Nebraska.
And I mean, some of our Nebraska fans hopefully going to get used to the KFC Yum Center because this is where the Final Four is happening. Kind of the whole Race to the Roses theme that the volleyball team is going with, because they're hoping to make it back there in December.
Yep, started the season there, and hopefully we'll be finishing the season there. All right, Danielle, again, we got to check, though, a look at the forecast as we look ahead to the weekend. Start with the Anderson Wealth and Retirement Husker Game Day forecast. It's going to be very warm tomorrow. Oof. Yeah. So mid-90s is what we're thinking for highs tomorrow in Lincoln. It should be mostly to partly sunny through the afternoon, but again, very warm. So again, any tailgaters, want to mix in a little bit of water.
Yeah.
with anything else you might be drinking. Kickoff, again, in the mid-80s. I did check. Sunset is at 7:25.
Yeah.
So the game kicks at 7. So again, those folks who are in East Stadium might still be in the sun just a little bit, but you're not necessarily going to sit and bake in the sun for maybe an earlier season kickoff with a 7 o'clock kickoff. But so again, very warm. Again, that's 86 air temperature outside the stadium. If you're inside the stadium, it's going to be even warmer than that. By the end of the game, we're thinking temperatures down to the low to mid 70s. All this week, we've been watching the chance for rain, and it does look like right now, again, we're doing this just before 5 o'clock Friday. Things always can change. But right now, I think we're going to get the game in really no problems. We think by the end of the game, we're going to start to throw in at least that chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Again, we're not expecting any severe weather. But again, I feel like a lot of people still have some trauma from the Akron game in 2018. So again, it doesn't necessarily need to be severe to cause some problems. If there is some lightning, it's within about 25 miles is where they're looking. If there's lightning within that 25 miles, that could cause some issues. But we don't think that any shower or thunderstorm activity would really arrive until late in the game. And really then the forecast for the weekend isn't all that great. So again, we talked about some outdoor events, that nighttime trek over at Pioneers Park, obviously Roca Scary Farms, Roca Berry Farms, anything outside. I would keep rain gear handy with you. Again, Friday is going to be hot, mainly dry. Saturday, that rain chance basically increases through the day. Temperatures will be cooler in the mid 80s. And Sunday, Sunday's going to be one of the first real kind of raw fall days that we have. Yeah. It's going to be cloudy all day. It's going to be a bit on the breezy side. Temperatures are only going to reach the low 60s, and we think we could see basically rain throughout a good portion of the day. And by the time it's all said and done, we could potentially see several inches of rain by the time Sunday night rolls around and rain comes to an end. So again, a lot of the events we talked about, they may be outside. Again, I mentioned the Fall Festival at St. Michael's. You may want to check with some of these events to see if they haven't been postponed or moved to another weekend. But again, indoor events might be
the
prioritized for the upcoming weekend.
Yeah, but with that Husker game, might want to have something you can fan yourself with for the first half of the game at least, and then then it'll get kind of cool and more football weather. But as for our rain chances, I mean, it's been a while since we've had some good rain here in the area.
I think we had 1.5 inches in all of August at the Lincoln Airport, and so far this September we've had maybe around 1/10 of an inch. So again, new drought monitor came out today, and we had actually had moderate drought conditions move into the Lincoln Metro and covers really most of Lancaster County. So we really, really need the rain. It's just unfortunate that it's coming on the weekend. Again, the silver lining being it doesn't look like it's going to come during the Husker game. It's probably a good thing it's a Friday night game, because if it was a Saturday night game, they would have issues.
Run into a little bit of trouble. And I mean, we need the rain, but also it's getting close to the harvest time
season,
for quite a few people. So then you run into that, putting it in a little delay for the farmers. But what can you do?
Beggars can't be choosers.
What can you do?
I know. All right. So that's another edition of the Star City Buzz. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, again, this is a segment we try and do live every Thursday, 4:30, right after the 4 o'clock show with Taryn Vanderford. So we really appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching.
Yeah, of course. And if you need more information on any events, we will have links to that in this article on our website at 1011now.com.
All right. Yeah, we got to get off the live stream now because the 5 o'clock news is coming up here in just a few minutes. Keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Till next time, folks. I hope everyone has a nice weekend.
You've been listening to 1011 Star City Buzz. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.